When people think of the Quran, many imagine verses about worship or stories of prophets. But the Quran is also a book of community. It teaches us how to live together, how to honor agreements, how to care for one another, and how to build trust in society. One of the most important chapters in this regard is Surah Al-Ma'idah, the fifth chapter of the Quran. Its name, Al-Ma'idah, literally means the table spread. It refers to the story of the disciples of Jesus who asked for a table of food sent from heaven, a symbol of divine blessing but also of responsibility. This surah is long, detailed, and rich with guidance. It was revealed in Medina, in the later period of the Prophet Muhammad's life, when the Muslim community was more established and faced new challenges, treaties, laws, and interactions with other religious groups. Let us explore how Surah Al-Ma'idah offers timeless lessons of unity and responsibility for all humanity. The title of the surah points to a story in verse 112 onward. The disciples of Jesus, full of faith but also human weakness, asked him to request a sign from God, a table spread with food from the heavens. Jesus warned them, "Fear Allah, if you are believers." But they insisted, saying that their hearts would be at peace if they saw this miracle. So Jesus prayed, and God responded, "Indeed, I will send it down to you. But whoever disbelieves after this, I will punish him with a punishment unlike any in the worlds." This story is powerful because it shows two things: divine generosity. God provides blessings beyond imagination. Human responsibility. With blessings come accountability. It is not just about food on a table. It is about the trust between God and humanity. Every gift we receive, wealth, family, health, community, comes with responsibility. Surah Al-Ma'idah constantly calls believers to unity. The opening verse begins, "O you who believe, fulfill your obligations." It reminds Muslims that faith is not just belief in the heart. It is about keeping promises, respecting laws, and honoring relationships. Unity comes from trust. The surah also emphasizes unity among religious communities. It addresses Muslims, Jews, and Christians, calling them to focus on their shared values: belief in God, respect for life, and justice. One of the most striking verses says, "If Allah had willed, He could have made you one community, but He tests you in what He has given you. So race to all that is good." 5:48. This verse shows that diversity is part of God's plan. The challenge is not to erase differences, but to compete in goodness. Responsibility in Surah Al-Ma'idah appears in many forms. Justice for all. The surah contains one of the most powerful commands of the Quran. Do not let hatred of a people lead you to injustice. Be just, that is nearer to righteousness. 5.8. This is radical. Even if someone wronged you, even if you dislike them, you cannot betray justice. True responsibility means standing for fairness, even against yourself or your group. The sacredness of life. Another famous verse says, "Whoever kills a soul, unless for a just cause, it is as if he has killed all of mankind, and whoever saves a soul, it is as if he has saved all of mankind." 5:32. Here, responsibility is not only legal, but universal. One human life equals all humanity. Imagine if our world today lived by this verse, wars, oppression, and violence would lose their justification. Faithful to covenants. Surah Al-Ma'idah repeatedly warns against breaking promises, whether treaties between nations or personal agreements. A believer is recognized not just by prayer, but by honesty and reliability. Ethics in daily life. This chapter also guides Muslims in matters of food, diet, hunting, and lawful earnings. Why? Because responsibility is not just in big political matters, it is in everyday choices. Even what we eat reflects respect for rules. Relevance for today. You may ask, what does all this mean for our modern lives? In a world of broken trust, Surah Al-Ma'idah calls us back to honesty and responsibility. In a world divided by race, religion, and politics, this surah reminds us that unity grows from fairness, not uniformity. In a world where violence takes innocent lives, it shouts the message that saving one soul is like saving all of humanity. In a world drowning in blessings yet misusing them, the story of the table spread reminds us that every gift is a test of gratitude and responsibility. Surah Al-Ma'idah is not only history, it is a call to action for every generation. It asks us, will you honor your commitments? Will you stand for justice even when it is hard? Will you care for life and dignity? Will you use blessings with gratitude, or will you take them for granted? Unity and responsibility are not abstract ideals. They are daily practices. How we treat our neighbors, how we speak the truth, how we share what we have, and how we respect those who differ from us. Surah Al-Ma'idah is like a mirror. It shows us who we are as a community and what we must strive to become. It reminds us that unity is built through keeping promises and practicing justice. Responsibility comes with every blessing, every agreement, and every relationship. Faith is not only in rituals, it is in integrity, fairness, and compassion. So, the next time you open the Quran, pause at Surah Al-Ma'idah. Reflect on the story of the heavenly table spread. Reflect on the verses about justice, unity, and the sanctity of life. Because in the end, Surah Al-Ma'idah is not just about food on a table. It is about how humanity shares the table of this world, with fairness, gratitude, and responsibility.